Hey everyone, today we've got a few new devices to go over from GPD, Onexplayer, MSi, as well as a new player joining the fray with Tencent's entry into the scene. We've also got a few smaller updates to cover, one product overview, and a brief look at some game sales. Today's video is looking to be a shorter one, so I've merged all the sections into the quick news. Alright, let's dive into it. Jumping straight into the new devices, we'll start with the biggest surprise this week with MSi's Claw 8 Plus as well as a refresh of the MSi Claw 7. Pre-orders for these devices went live on Amazon briefly before being pulled down, however we got a glimpse at the shipping dates and it looks like it's going to be coming sometime in late December. I'm assuming we're going to hear more from MSi confirming the release dates, which should be coming up very soon if they want to release before Christmas. Once the Cyber Monday deals end, I'm assuming we're probably going to hear something more because they're going to be running short on time to get that date before the end of the year. We did see the prices though, and it seems that the MSi Claw 7 refresh with the 285V, this is the original model just updated with the new APU, that one's going to go for $799, and the new Claw 8 AI is going to be going for $899. Performance of the new Intel chip with the 285V looks pretty promising. At 30 watts, it seems to be very close to the HX370 from AMD, which is powering the new Onexfly, the Neo 3, and it's going to be probably very similar to what the Z2 Extreme is going to offer. If you want to see more performance tested, there's a video from Hubwood that you can check out that showcases a number of games at different TDP settings. These were tested with laptops, but it should give you a good idea what to expect when we get these handhelds in our hands. So check the video description for that link, and thanks Hubwood for letting me use a couple of your clips. Next, we have another device from GPD. This isn't necessarily new, but it's something that I wanted to highlight because there was a video that popped up that immediately got my attention and actually kind of had me a little bit on board for this device. Watching the video, there's one thing that's, it's a feature that we knew about, that the screen can flip around, but if you flip it around, fold it down, and attach a controller, it actually looks very similar to the X1 Mini, which was a very comfortable handheld. So if you use the controller like that, you really do get the best of both worlds here. You get like the 3-in-1 setup like you do with the Onexplayer X1. I know it's just a controller add-on, but honestly that made me rethink this device and really see the potential of it. So if you're interested in checking out this device, their campaign is currently live on Indiegogo. I'll drop the link in the description. Feel free to head over there if you're interested and check it out. The next device we heard about was actually a new one from Tencent. They kind of showed up out of nowhere with this massive device called the Sunday Dragon. They went with the new Intel 285V and a massive 11-inch screen that looks to be about the same size as the Onexplayer X1. But one thing that's kind of unique about the display is they call it a glasses-free 3D display, so I don't know how that's going to work in execution, but it does remind me of the Nintendo 3DS, which, while that was kind of neat, it was something that I usually turned off right away because it just wasn't comfortable to use. But let's hope that the technology has advanced in the last decade or so we'll see what they have to offer with that. Another feature of the device is the removable controllers, which are similar to the Legion Go and X1. It's not really certain yet whether the controls have batteries like the Legion Go or whether they're going to require a connector or adapter like the Onexplayer devices. It also has a removable keyboard that looks like it secures magnetically, similar to that of the Onexplayer X1 and Onexplayer 2. So it seems like they've definitely drawn some inspiration from those devices. And probably one of the most notable features of the device is its battery. It's going to be the largest battery in any handheld, coming in at 100 watt hours, which is larger than the MSi Claw 8 and the Ally X, which had 90 and 80 watt hours. So if you're interested in this device, make sure to hit the gym and get your arms ready if you plan to play for long gaming sessions. I think this is going to be a pretty heavy device. And we don't really have any other information like release date, whether it's going to be released globally or just in China, so stay tuned for more updates as I learn more about it. Next, we have another device from Onexplayer, hot off the heels of the Onexfly release. This device hasn't officially been named. Currently, people are calling it the One Gx2, which is the successor to the One Gx Pro that came out a little while ago. The device is pretty interesting. It seems similar to a WinMax 2 and a Pocket 4. I say the WinMax 2 because it has integrated controllers and a small keyboard. However, it has this interesting feature that there's actually a second keyboard, and that keyboard is a mechanical one and it clicks in place on top of the controller and other keyboard that's underneath. So a very interesting design. I'm curious to see how this is going to be executed. Current speculation is that the device may be for sale sometime in January, February, but I'll keep you guys up to date as I learn more about it. So that's it for the new devices. Briefly on to some device sales. Last week we talked about a bunch of devices being on sale, and as of the time of recording, you can still take advantage of some of these deals. At Best Buy, you can get the 512GB ROG Ally for $499 and the Ally X for $699. The Legion Go, similarly, the 512 is going for $499 and you can get a 1TB for $549. If you were looking to pick up the original Claw 7, that sale seems to be over at Best Buy. However, I would stay tuned for the Cyber Monday deals. It may pop up again. Neo and Onexplayer still have their sales for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. You can find those on their respective online stores. And the Steam Deck LCD was on sale this last week. However, it seems to be completely sold out. So the 64GB and 512, they were offered at a discount, but they're completely sold out right now. If you missed out on these sales, honestly, I wouldn't feel too bad. We're on the verge of new devices being released with the next-gen chips. We have the AI 370, the Intel 285V, and I'm pretty sure the Z2 Extreme devices honestly can't be that far out. And now on to some happy news. My new AI 370 Onexfly just arrived and I've started to do a little bit of testing. I'm hoping to put together a quick first impressions video soon and then follow up with some more in-depth testing and benchmarking. And from my initial testing so far, it seems to be shaping up to be the most powerful handheld of 2024. And here's a quick sneak peek of the performance tests. I found that this was fairly consistent across games and across settings. So this one is Cyberpunk benchmarked at 1080p, running at high settings with FSR turned off. As I adjusted to different settings, like adding in FSR, frame gen, increasing or decreasing the settings, I found that the results seem to just scale accordingly. So let me know in the comments what you would like to see tested. I keep hearing requests for low TDP tests, so I've done some testing of some games that are fully playable at 4W TDP. Let me know in the comments and stay tuned for more to come. And now on to a quick product overview. You probably noticed in the background I have my phone and I'm using a mobile controller with it to play my Steam games, particularly Metal Slug X. And this controller is from bitdo. They sent it out for me to test out, and I gotta say it's a pretty decent device. It does feel a little bit smaller than some of the other devices I've tested. However, when you actually compare it to the bitdo Ultimate controller, it's actually the same size. The only difference is that there's a little bit of modification to the layout, where the buttons are a little bit closer to the joysticks on this controller versus the Ultimate, which is obviously due to size limitations. But overall, it seems to maintain the same shape, same buttons, the joysticks feel the same, triggers, bumpers. And I've been using my Ultimate controller for quite some time. I do really like it, so I'm really happy to see that all of that is translated over here. The D-pad's pretty nice, it rolls very nicely, and the joysticks seem to be full-size modules. I think they're exactly identical to what's on the Ultimate controller. The face buttons are also very nice. They feel, I guess, kind of like a stock Xbox controller with the membrane buttons. The bumpers are tactile switches, and the triggers are linear, and they seem to have a decent range. And taking a look at the back, we have two macro buttons here. Overall, it's a pretty decent mobile controller. If you have larger hands, you might find it a little bit small. For my hands, it still feels fairly comfortable, but I do find it to be on the smaller side. So if you're interested in this product, I'll leave some links in the description where you can click to learn more and possibly purchase one if you're in the market for one. Overall, I would say that it's definitely a decent entry for 8bitdo into the mobile controllers. I don't think they've done one like this before. And honestly, if you want to learn more about this controller, check out another video from Game Tech Talk. He's the controller guy. He's got a lot more experience with this than I do, and he'll take you through a bit more of the nitty-gritty. I'll leave that link in the description as well. And now on to the last section, which is some game sales. I always recommend people to watch the sales at deals.gg, as it summarizes the sales across numerous storefronts and can even give you a list of games that are at their all-time low price. If you're looking for some free games, make sure to grab Brotato and Oaken, which are free for a limited time. One of them is through the Epic Game Store and the other one through GOG Galaxy. While we're looking at this page, you can grab Mafia for 99% off for only 62 cents. There's 70% off Hogwarts Legacy as well as Red Dead Redemption 2. And 77% off of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Taking a look at the popular games that are on sale, we have Suicide Squad that's at 95% off at only $3.39. We have 69% off of Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection and 36% off of Metaphor. Baldur's Gate 3 is currently 20% off. We have 55% off Cyberpunk. Ghost of Tsushima is 43% off, Psychonauts 90%, and we have Northgard for 90% off as well. And lastly, we have Silent Hill 2 for 49% off and Stalker 2 for 33%. Now is a great time to take advantage of these deals. A lot of them end on December 4th, so I would jump on it as quick as you can if you're in the market for some new games. The Black Friday sales, Cyber Monday are usually pretty good, and with 70% off some of these games, and one game even being 99% off, it would be foolish not to check these out. And that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.